You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. We have a Clary test request. If you're wondering, what is that? Is there a test called the Clary test? Yes, it's a test I came up with. And it is, quite seriously, the latest, greatest advancement in the field of political science to come out in the past, I'd say, 60 years, because political science is not a real science. And so when normally intelligent or higher than average intelligent people like me come up with a political idea, those ideas may seem revolutionary and brilliant, but that's because political science majors and political science professors are fucking morons. But more specifically, what the Clary test requires, a test is, it's a 4-question test I came up with to find out whether or not I'd even have any interest in voting for a politician. And then I found out it's a really good way, 4 quick litmus test-like question, to find out whether you trust anybody and, frankly, whether you want to have a beer with them. So, a young man writes, Aaron, how much for a Clary test video on New Zealand's Prime Minister Bill English? Boy, how much more English can that be? New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English with a cup of tea. And New Zealand Labour Party leader Jacinda Ardern. Alright, so let's look these people up. We usually go to the old Wikipedia. Bill English. New Zealand. Because they're coming up Minneapolis. There's a Bill English in Minneapolis. Never heard of him. Alright, here we go. Oh, who do dingly winkly. Simon William Bill English, born 1961, is the 39th Prime Minister of New Zealand and leader of the National Party, having taken office on December 12, 2016. He was previously Deputy Prime Minister from 2008 to 2016. A farmer and public servant before entering politics, although you're a public servant, that does not qualify. English was elected to Parliament in 1990. I think that is... Did I have pubes then? I think I did. They were proto-pubes. 90, how old was I in 90? I was 15. Okay, those are real pubes. But, I mean, the guy's been in government a long time, which isn't good. For the Wallace electorate, he was elevated to cabinet in 1996 before I graduated from college, and in 1999 was made Minister of Finance, although he served for less than a year due to his party's loss in the 1999 general election. In October 2001, did he go back to the private sector? No! English replaced Jenny Shepley as leader of the National Party. Alright, so he's just been there. He's been in government since I had 3 or 4 years worth of pubes. So let us go and investigate his life. Remember, there are 4 questions to the Clary test. Clary test. Did you come for money? If you did, get a point. Did you major in something stupid? If you did, you get a point. Do you have any private sector or real-world working experience, which includes, even though it's government, police, firefighter, military, things where you actually put at risk and you actually work? If you do have real-world working experience, you don't get a point. But if you're like Nancy Pelosi or most politicians, you get a point. And then what are you currently doing now? Are you retired? Are you working in some kind of private, productive, contributing member to capacity to society? Or are you a career politician, nonprofit director fuck, still living off of the taxpayer, running for office because even though you're a grandma, Hillary Clinton, you should be retired, taking care of your grandchildren, spending time with your family, you're a power-hungry fucking psycho megalomaniac. Early life. English is the second youngest of 12 children of Mervyn English and Nora English. His parents purchased Rosedale, a mixed sheep and cropping farm in Dipton, Southland, from Mervyn's uncle, Vincent English, a bachelor in 1944. English was born in the town of Lumsden. He attended St. Thomas School in Winton, then boarded at St. Patrick's School in Upper Hutt, where he became head boy. He played in the first 15 of the school's rugby team. English wanted to study commerce at the University of Otago. He was a resident at Suling College and then completed an honors degree in English literature at Victoria. Okay, so let's start with this. He did not come from wealth unless Mervyn was super rich. But with 12 kids, I'm going to assume he was fighting for food. He did major in stupid shit. Business degrees for baby boomers, there's an age issue here. Like back in the olden days, going to school for any degree was a good degree. Today, if you majored in something stupid, you get a point. The fact that he went on to English literature, there was no engineering, there was no real hard work on this guy's intention. So he gets a point for a worthless degree. After finishing his studies, English returned to Dipton and farmed for a few years from 1987 to 1989. He worked in Wellington as a policy analyst for the New Zealand Treasury at a time when the free market policies favored Labour finance ministers Rogers. So he worked at the Treasury, Rogernomics. So he, when was he born? 61. So 81. Studies, he'd be 20, 82, 83. So he worked at the farm for a few years. He has real world working experience. Policy analyst, New Zealand Treasury. That sounds like real work, although I'm a little leery as it is government work. And that starts in 1987. Joined the National Party in 1980. So for a period as chairman of the southern branch of the Young Nationals, became a member of the Walsh Electric. So right off the bat, this guy has been always aiming to be in politics. I'll grant you he did have some work. So he did not come from money. He did work a real job, although it was 3 years. But this guy has already, he had political aims as a young fuck. 1990 general election. So how old? He was 29 and he decided to run for office. So 1990, he enters politics. He's active for a decade before that. 96-99, opposition, shadow cabinet, 5th national, deputy, current, yeah. So does he come from money? No, 0 points. Did he major in something stupid? Yes. Does he have real world working experience? Yes. What is he doing now? What has he been doing since I was barely pubescent? This guy has just been sucking on the government tea. I don't know what the National Party. I've gotten out of politics. I actually used to cover New Zealand a long time ago when I was paid to cover it and give a shit about their economics and politics. But yeah, this guy is a very average score. I guess for politicians, he's all right because he just didn't have a spoon shoved in his mouth like Tony Blair or the Bushes or Obama. But I'm not impressed with this individual because that's all he's been as a politician. He's a career politician. I mean, it's so do I trust him? Not really, no. I mean, okay, yeah, he might be a little bit closer to your average man. But I don't no, he better retire. You know, well, I don't know. Do you guys have a limit on number of terms your prime minister can serve? I think 2 terms, and he should duck the fuck out and go back and contribute something to society. He serves our country as a service. He's a public servant. No, he's just been living off the taxpayer for quite some time. All right, so he gets a 2. Would I want to have a beer with him? Not really. No, I'm just not impressed with that man. And then who was the other guy or gal you wanted? Jacinda Ardern. I'm going to assume with a name like that. And she's in the Labour Party. She has no real world experience. What was it, Jacinda? Jacinda Ardern. Here she is. I'm going to assume younger gal. Oh, God. Are those her teeth? She shaved her teeth down a bit. I would totally bang. Born 1980, has been a leader of the Labour Party. So she is 37. She was first elected to Parliament as an MP in the 2008 general election. So she was in her late 20s, early 30s. Not enough experience to have any real-world working experience. I already don't like this person. Early life. Born in Hamilton, New Zealand, Ardern grew up in Morrinsville and Murupara, where her father, Ross Ardern, and he has a link to his own Wikipedia entry, so I'm going to assume he's kind of well-to-do. Worked as a police officer. Well, wait a minute. Why does he have a link? Oh, he's a New Zealand diplomat and former police officer. He's currently High Commissioner of New Zealand to newly served as... Okay, yeah, so he came from money. He joined the police force in 1974. He might be a cool guy. 40-year police, spent 20 years criminal, invested 5 years. Commissioner commendation, line of duty. See, Robbie kidnapped as a point commissioner of police. Yeah, she didn't. She came from money. Maybe not blue blood money, but she wasn't missing no. She wasn't missing no meals. She sounds like your typical spoiled American suburbanite princess. Worked as a police officer. She attended University of Waikato, graduating in 2001 with a Bachelor of Science in Communication Studies in Politics and Public Relations. She had no intention of ever working a real job or producing anything of value for society. She was a lazy fuck. Her daddy paid for everything. My daddy's like the policeman commissioner. He'll so kick your ass. I don't know if they talk like Fresno girls in New Zealand, but yeah, this is why the Clary test was created, to suss out fucking weasels like this. She joined the Labour Party at a young age, of course, and became a senior figure in the Young Labour Party branch. After graduating from university, she spent no years in the private sector working a real job, I'm going to predict. She spent time working in the offices of Phil Goff and Helen Clark as a researcher. She later spent time in London working as senior policy advisor to Tony Blair. How much dick did she suck to get ahead? She was also seconded to the Home Office to help in early 2008, she won election as president of the International Union of Socialist Youth, a role which saw her time spent in countries such as Jordan, Israel. Okay, so she's had no real-world working experience. Yeah. Okay, so she, unlike her dad, she didn't work a real job, put herself at risk or anything. And she thinks at her young age she's so brilliant that she should be telling you people what to do. But you guys voted for her because she promised you free things. And we all know free shit is worth sacrificing the integrity and future of a country or a nation. Because it makes us feel good. Good to see you New Zealanders are just as stupid as Americans. Alright, I don't even have to go through this worthless cunt's... I'm sorry, bint. Bint is the word they use. Bint. She gets 0. Came from money. Majored in stupid shit. Never worked a real job. Currently not working a real job. 0. Would I like to have a beer with her? No, I would... just douse it in her face. I have no respect. I wouldn't talk to her. What's she gonna say? I think we deserve other people's money. And you can say it however you want, but that's all she would talk about, is how she and the people she represents are entitled to other people's money. This is a truly despicable, lazy person who has absolutely no intention of ever working a real job. And I wish you people who vote for Labour, socialists, realize this. These people are using you so they don't have to work a real job. They're simply promising you other people's money so they can avoid real work. That's it. That's how simple it is. You don't need a political science degree to figure this out. So there you go. I'm not impressed with either. I would want nothing to do with Jacinda. That is just an empty dit's brain. The other guy, maybe, but I don't know. You New Zealanders, you kind of like your socialism. This is what you get. Maybe I'll stop by and visit and climb a mountain or something, but I would not be having a beer with Jacinda. I would very much, I would pay not to listen to her talk. All right, we'll see you kids later. Toodles.